Hi friends, my name is Miss Pam. I'm here today with Little Science Lab with Imagine Children's Museum. Last week we were talking about how things in water take up space. And this week we are going to be talking about how things weigh instead of they have weight instead of taking up space and having volume. And today I have some really fun tools. I brought a couple of balls. I'm wondering if you know the name of these balls. This is you're right, it's a golf ball. And this is it's a different, it looks kind of the same, but it is called it's called a ping pong ball. And I have a really cool tool over here. This is called, do you know what this is called? It's called a scale. And we get to play with it today. And so we are going to see what happens on our scale when we put our balls on the scale. The scale is going to weigh and tell us which one is lighter and which one is exactly heavier. So I'm going to start with this one. And what was the name of this? Ping pong. You're right. Ping pong ball. Say it fast. Ping pong, ping pong. It's a ping pong ball. Exactly. So I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to ask you to keep your eye on the scale. All right, here we go. Oh, what happened? The blue side went down just a little bit. It did. Why do you suppose that happened? Exactly, because it's a little bit heavy. What do you think is going to happen when we put the the golf ball on the red side? Should we find out? All right, let's find out. Here we go. I'm just going to set it on. Oh my gosh, real gentle. Did you see what happened? It went down really far. So this is telling us one is heavy and one is light. Which one is the heavy one? Exactly. The golf ball. You got it. Golf ball. So I'm going to lift this up. And it goes down. Exactly. So I have another golf ball. I'm wondering what would happen. I'm going to take the ping pong ball off. What will happen when I put the other golf ball, just like this one, I'm going to put it on the blue? What do you think will happen? That's a good thought. Let's see if you're right. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. Is one side higher than the other? They look the same. So we call that level. This is my L word, level. Level. So that means that when the red side is the same height as the blue side, they are level. And that means that they weigh the same amount. So I am wondering, do you see my container of water over here? What do you think will happen when I put my golf ball into my water? My golf ball was pretty heavy. Do you think it will stay on top of the water or go to the bottom of the water? Should we find out? All right, let's give it a try. Here we go. Ooh. It went all the way to the bottom. So what do we call that when it goes to the bottom? You're right. We call that sink. That's Miss Pam's S word. That's right. So I'm going to put the ping pong ball in the water now. Do you think it's going to stay on the top, or do you think it's going to go to the bottom? What do you think? Should we find out? All right, let's give it a try. Here we go. All right. Oh, it's on top. So is it lighter than the golf ball? Yep, it's lighter. And we call that, when it's on top of the water, what do we call that? You know it already. You're exactly right. That's Miss Pam's F word, float. So we have sink and float right here. I've got a game for us. Are you ready? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all of the things that float. Here's Miss Pam's big card, F word, float. We're going to put them over here. And all of the things, what is this guy doing here? You're right, he's sinking. We're going to put him in on this side. We're going to find out how many of our tools are going to sink or float. So you get to make the prediction before we put them in. So you have to use your thinking cap. Are you ready? I have a pink golf ball. Do you think it's going to sink or float? Let's find out. Here we go. Oh my gosh. You're right. It was a sinker. You got it. It sank. Let's try. Oh, what do you think this is? This is styrofoam. Do you think it's going to sink or float? Let's give it a try. It's floating. It's floating, exactly. You know, so you can use your thumb to tell me whether you think it's going to float or sink. Here we go. This was my floater. Goes over here. So I've got another, here's another ping pong ball. Do you think it's going to float or sink? Let's find out. Here we go. Oh, it was the same as the other one. It was a floater. You're right. You're right, a float. Ooh, what about this guy? What is this? This is a spoon. Do you think it's going to float or sink? Let's find out. Ooh! It went to the bottom, so it sank. But do you know what? Sometimes if we're really careful, we can put it right on top. It's a float, too. So should we put that in the middle here? Okay, let's put that in the middle. There we go. So that one can do both. It's pretty tricky. What do you think about this? I have a little ball of styrofoam. Do you think it's going to float or sink? Let's find out. Oh, float. You're right. You're right. All right, here we go. Ooh, I have a clippy. Is it going to float or sink? Let's find out. Oh my gosh. It went right down, all the way to the bottom. That was you're right, a sinker. All right, I've got two more. Here we go. What was this called? A pebble. It's a glass pebble. Do you think it's going to float or sink? All right, let's find out. Here we go. Oh, it sank. It was a sinker. You're right. Here we go. One more. What have I got here? Can you see? A paper clip. Can you say that? Paper clip. Yep. Is it going to float or sink? All right, let's find out if your prediction is correct. To the bottom it goes. So we have got, let's find out if we had more floaters or more sinkers. This is our sinker side. Let's see if we can count how many sinkers we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sinkers. How many floaters? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're right, 4. And we had one that did both. So which has the most? The sink or the float? The sink. The sink had 5 and the float had 4. So the sink has the most. Isn't that fun? You can do this at home, friends. You can get 2 cups and pull out any of your toys, and you can find out whether they sink or float, or you can do it even in the bathtub with all of your toys to find out if they sink or float. Our time together is just about done. I am so glad you joined me today. We've had so much fun. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for joining us.